Charlie's Angels 2019 is a reboot of the two films that were released in the early 2000s, starring Drew Barrymore, Cameron Diaz, Lucy Liu, and directed by Mick G, which I wasn't the biggest fan of anyway. This time round though, the film stars Kristen Stewart, Naomi Scott and Ella Balinska, and Elizabeth Banks. Directing duties are in the hands of Elizabeth Banks as well as producer and screenwriter. Usually I start off with a short rundown of how the film starts and what it is about, but with Charlie's Angels 2019 I'm going to make an exception. The reason for this is because I basically don't have the enthusiasm to do so, which is a first for me. I'm going to delve into my thoughts of the film's plot, action, acting and directing, and just touch on the agenda that is attached to it. The story is nothing we haven't seen before, but done a lot better. Villainous businessman steals technology and wants to weaponize it for his own diabolical and selfish ends, and the angels have to stop him. It's basically predictable nonsense that didn't grip me, and not making me want to see what happens next. Every time the baddie evades them, there is no urgency to what they need to do next. The film doesn't have enough humour to be a comedy, and what we get is passable at most. It hardly has any intrigue and there is not enough action in it either. The action we do get, in my opinion, is badly choreographed. The fighting is filmed so close up that it looks messy and cramped, even when particular scenes are spacious. Many of the moves the angels make during the fightings are badly edited. For an example, one of the angels uses a wall to climb onto the baddie's shoulders. You see her foot on the wall, her arm round his neck, and then she is on top of him. There is no fluidity with the editing to make the fighting seamless. The acting is not great at all from anyone, even Patrick Stewart, I'm sad to say. The chemistry between the angels is okay, but most of the time you get the feeling they don't totally like one another. I wasn't rooting for the angels at all, even when they got hurt I wasn't concerned. That may come across as harsh, but none of the angels or any of the other characters for that matter were given enough backstory or time to develop for me to invest in them. This is how awful the script got, and this is a line from the film. Hamburg, weirdly enough, is not where hamburgers were invented. That's Frankfurt, where Frankfurters were not invented. It is that bad, and we have Elizabeth Banks to thank for that, and the rest of her screenplay, which is bad as well. Her directing is very bad in the film when it comes to the action scenes. The other scenes are just okay. The film sets about portraying strong female characters, which of course I am all in for in any film, as long as, like men, they are well written characters. With Charlie's Angels it is thrown at you right at the start, with a montage of women and girls of various ages and ethnic backgrounds. But what was it for? It certainly had no place and also had no relevance anywhere in the rest of the film, as though it was shoehorned in to remind us even before it gets going that this is a film for women. The men in it are portrayed as idiots, cliched stereotypes or chauvinistic pigs. Women are simply stronger, more intelligent and physically capable of taking down any man 3 times their size. Banks shot herself in the foot before the film was released by stating that the film is not for men. But on the other side of the coin, complained that the film's failings was due to men not seeing it and not wanting to see action films with women in them. With Charlie's Angels 2019 I went in with a fairly open mind, but ultimately found it a lackluster, uninspiring. It's not a very well acted film that doesn't do anything to keep you entertained. It's a film that's just there and doesn't serve any purpose. In the end, if a film is made with strong characters in them, whether they are men or women, people will go and see it. It appears that Hollywood thinks that the average moviegoer wants to see a film that has an agenda and tries to shove a message in their face. That is not the case at all, as people are smarter than that. Ghostbusters 2016 is a prime example of criticising and attacking people who didn't like the film. It wasn't due to it being an all-female Ghostbusters film. It's primarily because it was a reboot people never asked for, and Charlie's Angels 2019 is no exception. Well guys, thank you for watching, I always appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed my rant review of Charlie's Angels 2019. And you can tell me your thoughts on the film down below, positive or negative. If you're new to my channel, and if you haven't already, you can click subscribe and the notification bell, so you can keep up to date with my latest reviews. Thanks very much guys, and I'll catch you next time.